What's up guys, this is xTurtle here, and before we get into this video, I just want to give you guys a little bit of a disclaimer that this video is not going to be me.
Yeah, it's actually going to be me talking about xTurtle's video on why he thinks Mineplex is dying, because, long story short, I had some issues with his video, so I'm just going to explain what I thought was wrong with what he said. Here we go.
I'm actually going to give a serious, well somewhat serious opinion as to why I actually think Mineplex is dying.
Okay, so I don't very much like the whole basis of this video, really. I discussed this in a video of my own, that giving your opinion on why Mineplex is dying is just that. It's your own opinion. It's probably not too accurate in explaining why Mineplex actually is declining, because it's afflicted with your own personal experiences in the server, and what games you play, and what you like about those games. Remember that not everyone has those experiences, or has the same opinions about each game as you do. You go on the forums, there's a ton of threads with people giving their own reasons for Mineplex's player loss, and the real issue with this is that nobody really knows what they're talking about. They're all just saying what they want in the server, rather than what might actually be best for the server, because most people making these threads, they're not game developers, they're not game designers, just like I'm not, and just like xTurtle isn't. But Mineplex is, and I think it's safe to say that they have a better idea of what they're doing game design-wise than us. Yes, they have declined a lot, but they are still one of the world's biggest Minecraft servers, and you have to be doing some high-quality work to achieve that title. I'm not saying Mineplex always knows best. Obviously, seeing how their player count has decreased, something, maybe multiple things, must have gone drastically wrong. I'm all for constructive criticisms towards Mineplex, but most people, we just play on the server and really have no idea what decisions go into the making of the world's largest servers. All I can see, all anybody can see is basically, I like this, I want this in the server, I don't like this, I don't want this in the server, and some people have decided to take their own personal desires and declare that catering to those desires will make the server better for everyone. And because there are parts of the server that don't cater to them, that they don't like, is the reason that Mineplex is dying. Maybe like xTurtle is doing. Now, I don't disagree that Mineplex is actually dying. I think there is no doubt about that. To go from a maximum of 40,000 players to 10,000 is pretty obvious evidence.
Player drop has significantly, and I mean significantly, even the admin Jarvis has said that their player drop has significantly decreased. Mineplex is dying very rapidly, actually, and
Jarvis did say that the player count is dropping, he did admit that, but xTurtle, the way you have manipulated his words in your video makes it seem like Jarvis agrees that Mineplex is dying. You've done the same thing in your video description as well. But the truth is, Jarvis said the player count is dropping, but denied that Mineplex is dying. I'm making an educated assumption that you're referring to the same post I am, in which Jarvis discusses Mineplex's player drop, because it's the only recent post I found of Jarvis saying this. So it seems to me you've done minimal research, if not none at all, on this topic, or at least Jarvis's perspective on things. That, or you just decided to ignore what Jarvis said and use it for the benefit of your video.
I'm gonna get the little like roasting part out of this video right now. So, Mineplex staff is not the greatest staff team, but you have to understand there are some pretty good staff members on that team. There are some pretty bad ones, and some that kind of do some iffy stuff. You know, some that do corruption, things like that. So we're just gonna get that out of the way. There are some bad staff members, but I don't really think that has an effect on the player count too much.
Well, xTurtle does this a lot in his video, where I find myself asking, can I get some specifics? Like, he's being so vague here, just saying that there are many bad staff, some good staff, some that quote-unquote do corruption. That doesn't even make sense. If he's going to make this point, he's going to need to provide, at the very least, one example of poor staff behavior. He could have discussed what makes a good staff team, what other servers have good staff, what servers have bad staff, what Mineplex staff specifically does wrong, but instead he just vaguely talks about how there's bad staff, and this is one of the reasons why Mineplex is dying.
Let's talk about this new thing they are doing lately, and they're doing game updates so frequently.
I don't know what xTurtle means when he says game updates. There are map updates, developer updates, bug fixes, cosmetic additions. Nothing is called a game update, I don't think. So that kind of screws things up, because it's going to be hard for me to address what xTurtle is saying if I don't know what he's saying, but I'm going to try.
These updates recently have been absolutely trash. They're doing minimal things.
Here's where I agree with xTurtle, that the game updates are pretty lackluster, but again, he provides no specifics for this, so I don't have to elaborate for him. The thing is, a lot of recent updates are new maps for games nobody really plays, cosmetics that nobody really wants. Yes, I know this is opinionated, maybe some people like cosmetics, but I am confident in saying that the majority of players don't want cosmetics or new maps. From what is said on the forums and by my subscribers, this is a constant that people are sick of map and cosmetic updates. So yeah, I'm just gonna say that for xTurtle because he has said minimal things in his video and I'm making up for that.
There was just a game-breaking glitch on bridges, supposedly, that was, like, absolutely just, like, breaking bridges. Like, you couldn't even play bridges for, like, 2, 3, even, like, 4 hours during the day. And it was just god-awful. So,
what bridges glitch was that? I'm aware that Mineplex has had some pretty bad glitches recently, like how you could access the cosmetics menu in-game and turn into a blaze, or the permanent speed 2 glitch in survival games, but you're just here saying that there was a game-breaking glitch. You don't even describe it. You just say that the game was unplayable. You have no credibility for this claim.
That invisible survival glitch, survival games glitch, like, that just goes to show you that they do not care or just don't feel the need to fix these game-breaking glitches. They're chucking these updates out so frequently, like they're having like, what are they, like these hot fixes or whatever they call them, like developer updates. Maybe do an update every 2 or every 3 weeks instead of every single week, because clearly what you're doing is not good enough.
Okay, so I think xTurtle isn't very clear at all on which updates are which. He's saying that Mineplex doesn't care to fix their glitches. Then he starts criticizing the amount of hotfixes and developer updates that come out. My guy, the hotfixes and developer updates come out to fix the so-called game-breaking glitches that you have described, or actually have not described. I have to describe them for you. I think you're mistaking the hotfixes and developer updates for those map updates and cosmetic additions, unless of course you're undermining your own argument, which would not be surprising considering what comes later in the video.
And I mean, I don't mean to disown, you know, the Mineplex developers.
Yeah, wow, you're gonna disown the developer team because you're their parents, so I kicked them out of the house. Yeah, disown them, that's a proper term. Oh, I'm gonna disown them, man.
I can definitely even name off a few better coders and better developers than Mineplex has on other servers, like...
And he never did name them. He keeps making these claims with no evidence, expecting people to believe them. It's just very unsubstantial in an argument like this.
You look at Mineplex, what game have they came out with that's really big?
Clans and Gem Hunters. They were both unsuccessful attempts, but you should know that the staff have been and are trying to make a big game to revive the server, which I will discuss in more detail later.
Exactly. Nothing. They don't. They don't develop anything. They're just worried about these constant hot fixes, and it's not what they need to be worrying about. They need to fix the game, the broken game glitches.
Okay, yes, so it's quite obvious now that xTurtle has no idea what he's talking about at this specific part. Probably a lot of other parts of his video too, but yeah, back to back, he's saying the hot fixes are pointless and they need to fix the glitches. I know he's probably referring to the map updates, not hot fixes. But it kind of shows that he didn't do much research. He's really uneducated on this topic to the extent that he does not even know the basic terminology of what he's talking about.
And then build and think of new games that people are going to actually want to play and stay with. Like, if Mineplex came out with another big game that a lot of big YouTubers started playing, for example, Bed Wars, or for example, Murder Mystery, Mineplex would be revived. But they don't understand this. They just need to get together in their little developer call and figure it out.
No, xTurtle, what you don't understand is that Mineplex does understand they need a big game to revive their server. If you did some basic research, you'd actually know that. Jarvis straight up says they need a fresh and exciting idea to draw in new players in the exact same post that you took Jarvis's words from when he says Mineplex is losing players, and you didn't even get that quote right.
When is the last time Mineplex had a really good game idea? Like, sure, like they have Skyfall and they're really trying to push that and make it a big game, but it's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Nobody wants to be flying around in Minecraft with their little elytra. It just doesn't happen.
Okay, yeah, here's another thing. The quest to create some super exciting fun game that everybody loves, it's not easy. You never know what's going to work. You cannot act like it was so obvious that Skyfall wasn't going to be popular. How can anybody be expected to know what game will be popular? Mineplex is trying to make this fun and exciting game. I don't think you realize how difficult that is to do, or maybe you do, but you're just ignoring it. Because you just talk casually about how, oh, if Mineplex made this big game, they'd be revived. As if it was that simple. They can't just come out with a great game on command. It doesn't happen like that.
Before Gwen, there was a lot of hackers. Mineplex was at its prime. when they installed Gwen and made it work and made it start banning people, they probably saw a pretty good drop in players because a lot of Mineplex's player base was always hackers because they never had an anti-cheat. Why do Minecraft YouTubers not record anymore? Well, one, like I said, because there are still hackers, and usually there's a hacker game, and it just breaks the game. Okay, what are you gonna do?
Here is the ultimate in undermining your own argument. xTurtle says that Mineplex was at its prime when Gwen wasn't around and there were a lot of hackers. I don't think at its prime and a lot of hackers go hand in hand. I mean, sure, maybe hackers make up a lot of the player base, but is that really healthy for a server in the long run? We'll come back to this point later. It wasn't his main point anyways. So, xTurtle says that the main reason YouTubers don't play Mineplex anymore is because hackers ruin their games. Keyword we're looking at is anymore. This means YouTubers used to play on Mineplex in the past, but with xTurtle's explanation, there were more hackers in the past before Gwen came out, right? Doesn't that mean there still wouldn't be any YouTubers playing Mineplex then, because there were a lot more hackers? Like, I don't know if I'm following his logic here correctly, but I'm pretty sure this is what xTurtle is saying. Even without that blatant hole in his theory, I think it's pretty absurd to believe that Mineplex was in its prime or was better off with more hackers. But look at Hype Pinnacle. You get these watchdog announcements saying 30,000 hackers have been banned this week. They banned so many players and still managed to retain the highest player count in the world. That proves you don't actually need hackers on your server to boost your player counts.
Samito D is an admin, and what does he do for Mineplex anymore? Like, they need to re-evaluate their staff team and really look at what each person's doing, because Sam, if you play Overwatch, my dude, that's cool, you play Overwatch. You don't upload Minecraft anymore.
As of Friday, May 5th, 2017, out of Sam's past 15 uploads, 12 of them are Minecraft videos. Are we talking about the same Samito D here, or do we not have the same definition of what a Minecraft video is?
And, you know, I don't even know if you play Minecraft that often anymore. I would assume not.
You don't have to assume. You can actually just do a quick Google search for Samito D and see what his recent uploads look like. But it seems you couldn't even be bothered to do that.
Because you're busy live streaming Overwatch and stuff like that. And I'm glad you found another game. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm just saying that Mineplex needs to reevaluate who's on their staff team. Why are they keeping Sam on their staff team if he's inactive? I mean, sure, he might still do behind-the-scenes stuff for Mineplex, but it can't be that much, because between him streaming Overwatch, him playing Overwatch, and his IRL things, I guarantee he doesn't have very much time for Mineplex stuff or just Minecraft stuff in general.
Well, that's very presumptuous. How do you know what Sam's life or time schedule looks like? Are you him? Are you related to him? And I'm not talking about he's your very, very, very distant cousin. Point is, you don't know if he's inactive. You don't know what he does with his time. You know, maybe he gets 4 hours of sleep a day in order to cram in all his Overwatch, Minecraft, and IRL business into his schedule. And when you ask, what does he do for the server? Why did they keep him on the staff team? Let me just say that Samito D is the top YouTuber on Mineplex right now, taking into consideration both popularity and upload frequency. And as a YouTuber, he is advertising Mineplex via social media, via YouTube. With his channel, he is bringing in and retaining a good amount of players, and unfortunately I don't have the specifics on how many players he's getting for Mineplex. That's not calculable, but this is basic marketing. It's a commonly understood thing that YouTubers are great for servers. And I know you agree with that statement because you said yourself that YouTubers not playing on Mineplex anymore was a bad thing. So you wanted to know what Samito D does for Mineplex? You already answered it yourself. He's a Mineplex YouTuber bringing in more players.
When they put Gwen in, I really think it really just hurt them because a lot of hackers got banned, found different servers.
So, final thing, it's starting to look like xTurtle's belief is that hackers are good for a server. That's a new one. I have never heard that before. Do I have to explain this? To put it really simply, hackers cause more people to leave a server than they themselves are worth. Like, it's one person, one hacker on a server, causing multiple people to quit a server potentially. That's not really worth it. I'm not a game developer, I'm not a game designer, but this is pretty basic knowledge. Hackers are not good for servers. Like, all you actually need to do is look at the fact that servers put work into designing an anti-cheat. If hackers were good for a server, why would they waste time on making an anti-cheat? I think that's just it. Some closing words. xTurtle, I'm not hating on you. I don't want to start any drama. I have no issues with you personally. Let's get that out of the way. The main problem I do have is that, let's be real, You made this video for views because Mineplex dying is a hot issue right now. You wanted to cash in on it for quick results without doing much research at all, obviously. But you're making claims about the decline of one of the world's biggest Minecraft servers, saying you know what Mineplex is doing wrong and what they have to do to fix their server. And to support those claims, you should have spent a lot more time on this video. You should have done a lot more research. I don't know, maybe you're pressed on time, can't put out quality videos at a fast rate. But still, you should not have put this video out in the state it was in. It's clearly been very lazily and sloppily done. And might I mention, you've been making it out to look like you genuinely want to help the server. You've been giving suggestions on what Mineplex should do and all that. But really, if you genuinely wanted to help the server, you would stop hacking, because you hacking on your channel opens the gates for other hackers to flood Mineplex, for the wannabes who want to be mini xTurtle. Yeah, there's a lot of hackers here now. Because of this, I have no doubts that you have contributed, at the very least, in a minor way to Mineplex's decline. Now, this doesn't bother me, probably bothers others, because I don't care about hackers too much. I don't care that you hack, it's your channel, you do what you want, it's fine. But you shouldn't act like you want to help Mineplex when you do what you do, you know what I'm saying? And once more, when you give suggestions on what you think Mineplex should do, you don't really give suggestions. Instead, you've been kind of demanding Mineplex to do certain things, like, Mineplex needs to fix their glitches, Mineplex needs to reevaluate their staff team, and you've been trying to order them around pretending you know best. But, do I have to say it again? You probably don't. And finally, just to clarify some things once more, again, I agree Mineplex is dying. That cannot be denied, and that wasn't the point of this video. It's just that xTurtle's video was poorly done. It wasn't a good explanation for Mineplex's decline, and it was biased, opinionated, and rushed, as I have discussed throughout this video. Also, I thought some people might be wondering why I made a video against Jarvis talking about Mineplex's decline, and now I'm making a video against xTurtle, and it seems like I might even be supporting Jarvis here. Some of you people might want to ask me which side I'm actually on. Truth is, I'm on nobody's side. I don't believe any one person is completely right on everything or completely wrong. I'm just here to debunk bad arguments. Like I've said, I got nothing against xTurtle. I find his hacking videos both interesting and amusing. But this video he's made was, simply put, low quality. I recommend everyone watching this video, go watch xTurtle's video for yourself, the whole thing, formulate your own opinion on it. You know, maybe I'm wrong about some things, maybe I'm a hypocrite and haven't provided evidence for some things I've been saying in this video. I'd like some constructive criticism if you have any to give. You know, guess that's all I have to say. Outlast 2 comes out April 25th, 2017, everybody.